Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be Bretonnia led by Noctrim facing off against the Greenskins, who shall be helmed by Nerexa here on the Hidden Oasis, and it is going to be a green battle. We have the Green Knight, but no bushes and trees, although I guess you could pop out of this little kind of bush line or tree line here and ambush his opponents. Facing off against the Greenskins, who are going to be rocking a very cool build. We got Skarsnik, we got an Arachnarok Spider. What's not to love? It's a very cool style. Now, as far as the Bretonnian army goes, front line is going to be men-at-arms, backed up by some spears. We do also have a Grail Relique, so good for keeping the leadership up. Obviously, peasants are pretty low-tier units, but, putting them up to 58 leadership really isn't bad, and their stat line is very respectable with the Grail Relique nearby for the cost. Spears in the secondary, pox arrows, and basic arrows to shoot down a multitude of the Greenskin units, whether it be squigs, arrow boys, whatever. They have a ton of light armor, and knowing that this map might be a choke point fight here on Objective 2, depending on how they play it, archers could be good. And Fey Enchantress, Fey Enchantress is great against Greenskins. She has more Dissension effect, she debuffs nearby stats. She's a life caster, she has a huge nuke in the Comet of Cassandor that she can use on blob fights. Yeah, she's great, a lot of good stuff. Green Knight, man. I played in a tabletop tournament. This one would have been a couple months ago, but the Green Knight in tabletop is such an unholy scourge. So how it works is if there's any tree line or like forest or trees on the table, which most tournaments will guaranteed have that on every single table, the Green Knight can pop out of those things. He can then charge you immediately after popping out of the trees. It's so hard to prepare for it. And then on top of that, if you kill the Green Knight, he's like it's not Barney in The Simpsons, the guy who gets thrown out of the bar and then he like appears behind the bartender again. He's like that guy. There's a chance he can come back to life like every time he dies. It's so troll. The Green Knight definitely, I would say, he's very difficult to kill in this game as well, him being ethereal, of course. Yeah, for the Greenskin army, we have an Arachnarok Spider. Now, this is the tech I've not seen in a long time in ye old Warhammer, Ham of the War. It was more popular in Warhammer 2. There used to actually be a build that was competitive in Warhammer 2 in tournaments, which was using like double Arachnarok Spider backed up by like Black Orcs against Bretonnia. The Black Orcs could just, endure the cavalry charges and beat down the infantry, and then the Arachnarok Spiders would deal with the cavalry and cause terror, and it was pretty strong, actually. I had some success with it myself, similar type builds, and you could use any number of characters. Oftentimes you would see, who was popular? I think Azag was the meta. You would just fly overhead and cast Fate being on the elite horses and, live your best life. But I digress. Many moons ago that was. Orc Boys, backed up by Orc Air Boys, and in the backfield, Orc Biggins. A bit of a hybrid infantry. They do have anti-large, but they do well enough against baseline infantry. So if they get in a grind fight versus Gav, they can do well. Vulnerable against archer play, though. So if the Greenskins do get caught by those peasant archers en masse, they could do a lot of value. So this has got a really beautiful map. It's quite cool. I like this like oasis going through the middle, and shout out to the Total Tavern map makers. Awesome stuff. But the Arachnarok Spider is going to be heading on over towards Objective Dose, and it looks like it is going to be picking a Mortal Kombat fight here versus the Green Knight. There's like a bat outside. Oh man. So yeah, the town I live in, we actually have like bats flying around. It's like the bat cave somewhere nearby. You hear the bat squeaking outside. But the Arachnarok Spider does chase off the Green Knight. Green Knight opts not to take that fight. Actually being hit by the Howdah on the back. He does take about 24 damage right there. And the Fey Enchantress is going to be grabbing the objective. Both players going to be anchoring to fight here. And yeah, you could legit put archers up on the high ground here. Oh man, imagine, this would be such an OP map for the Wood Elves. Or like one of those really elite archer factions. You just put like 8, like Deepwood Scouts up here and then just like hold this point and just fight over the middle in Objective 1. God, that'd be brutal. Or like Chaos Dwarves with artillery. Oh, you just like can't get to it and just like nuking you here. Super cool map. Anyways, here we do have the Green Knight. The Fermented Fungi has been activated. So the armor piercing is going to be kicking in, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get through the hide of the Arachnarok Spider. But Spider to Bad Moon does give him a nice bonus versus large on top of the bonus versus large he already has. And the Green Knight here is trading pretty well. Because the thing is, Green Knight has healing and the Big Spider doesn't. But this is like a Bretonnian power fantasy of sorts. You get a lot of cheap infantry up there who have falsely inflated leadership. They're immune to psychology from the Grail Relique. And then you get the Fey Enchantress in there for the Mortis Engine. And have the archers started shooting here for Noctrim yet? We'll find out. So 1, 2, and 3. Now there could be a flank on this side from the Greenskins out of the Vanguard point. We could see them collapse on this formation. Granted, Bretonnia probably going to be calling out some cavalry of their own, I would imagine. Although on the far side here, we do see a bit of a vanguard of peasants. Okay, peasants and the Holy Wardens of Montesal coming up here towards Objective 3 to threaten that. Meanwhile, we do see the objective being taken by the Greenskins. The Chad Knight, though, really dominating this Arachnarok Spider. The Fey Enchantress, of course, providing heals. Skarsnik could be in a little bit of danger as well. He's not the tankiest lad. He does have high MD, but his armor is kind of low. So if Green Knight as well as Fey Enchantress decided to maybe 2v1 him, maybe. But is that a second Arachnarok Spider I see? Oh, that is super dreaded. I love it. So we got the double Arachnarok Spider build. Very, very cool. And the archers in the meantime, teeing off, getting some decent value fire. Meanwhile, the peasant bowmen with the epox arrows hitting up on the high ground, wasting arrows into the orc arrow boys here. Not wasting, but wasting them. So it's getting her done. The Enchantress lurking back. Green Knight still in the epicenter of battle, getting a melee attack buff from the Grail Relic. And it looks like Serkia, or Nerexa here, is trying to kill the Grail Relic with the 2 spiders, which is a very smart play. If the Grail Relic were to go down, that would allow terror routes to become a huge issue here for the Bretonnian forces. And now fermented fungi on the Fey Enchantress. All right, this could be a dangerous position. Skarsnik throwing some mushrooms at the Fey Enchantress. She's certainly tripping right now, as the giant spider does attack her and on her unicorn, and she's going to be trying to stand her ground, of course, not under her right state of mind. It does wear off. She takes a lot of damage, should be able to get away here. Earthblood is going to be going down, and the Green Knight still chipping away at Skarsnik. Skarsnik actually taking a bit of a whooping from the Green Knight, as we do get the flank out of the Vanguard point. So very cool. Vanguard point does call in some Wolf Riders, and that's going to be a feast. Bretonnia does not really have any cavalry whatsoever. So man, okay, Chalice of Potions going down. Really nice one right there. Nails those Orc Air Boys as well as the Orc Biggins. And here we do see these Goblin Wolf Riders. Let the Nurglings feast, man. They are going balls deep in these archers, and that is a huge loss for Bretonnia and a huge win for the forces of the Green Tide. But will the Green Knight be able to carry the battle here in the middle? He's trying. He's occupying 3 very expensive units. We do see a second Grail Relic brought in for the Bretonnians to be sent in there. And on the backside, it does appear there's a cav fight. So Knights of the Realm engaging against Orc Warboy Biggins, and Grail Knights called in as well. So Grail Chads will be able to get through these units. I was going to say the Knights of the Realm probably aren't going to be up to it alone, because Warboy Biggins defeat them pretty well in combat. On the charge, it's an even fight, but in sustained combat, the Biggins start to take over. But with the Grail Knights here, charging downhill in lance formation, super epic. We do see the Orc Warboy Biggins fold against that charge. And now the basic Orc Biggins, they'll trade pretty damn well into these Grail Knights. And I think the Grail Knights are not going to want that fight. Probably your best bet here for Noctrum is to pull back, either cyclocharge these infantry. Yeah, Holy Wardens coming in is going to be really big. Holy Wardens will trade extremely well there and will beat those Biggins, allowing the Grail Knights to maybe shine a little bit more. Green Knight, though, single-handedly taking out the Spider, and we do see the Wolf Riders were dealt with somehow. It looks like Fey Enchantress came back and was able to deal with them. She's a good fighter and does also have a Mortis effect, so here the Mortis effect is going to be tickling into the Goblin Wolf Riders. Spider's trying to penetrate into the secondary, cause terror back here. I'm surprised we're not seeing the Arachnarok Queen. The Arwar, I feel like the Spider summon could be very good. And now we see the Green Knight get rampaged, which is an attempt to get the Arachnarok Spider to safety and protect it, because now the Green Knight's just going to be attacking random stuff. Over here towards objective number 3, the fight does continue. The Holy Wardens and the Grail Knights trying to wear down the, pretty stalwart Greenskin infantry, fighting in the river. Oh, look at this. We actually have an aquatic battle. Look, they're fighting in shallow water. That is actually really cool. I have to use this map in some of my tournaments. I can see some ways it could be abused, but I think the rule of cool outweighs that. And yeah, we do see the Holy Wardens as well as the Grail Knights chewing through those units, and eventually they will win that fight. Greenskins calling in some reserves, some more Orc Biggins, and back in the middle, we do see the Fey Enchantress rallying back to the main engagement. Meanwhile, the Green Knight, where is he? The Green Knight trying to take on Skarsnik, but yeah, he's a little bit trapped up in a lot of anti-large units. I mean, despite him being ethereal, they will wear him down over time. Oh, that's going to be a good Chalice of Potions. This could be one of the most direct Chalice of Potions ever. Here it comes. The heavens being called by the Fey Enchantress from above. Okay, don't blue balls. Where is it? There it comes. Boom, right on the head of the Greenskins. That's going to be really bad for Skarsnik, because everything is going to terror route to the Green Knight now after taking that shock damage, and Green Knight is going to have Skarsnik all to himself. Spider's looking very beat up here. This one's broken here. So the Green Knight was able to wear those down in tandem with the archers. But now, is he going to be able to beat the tricksy get there, Skarsnik? Find out on today's episode. So here the Grail Knights charging uphill, hunting down the Orc Warboy Biggins, but now being intercepted by some Orc Biggins, as well as more Orc Warboy Biggins. A lot of anti-large makes sense in this matchup. Holy Wardens have almost won this fight, but shout out to the Greenskin infantry here, fighting an uphill battle against elite cavalry and still holding their own. These guys only 300 value so far. Grail Knights pulling back here, rear charging into the infantry. Finally going to break that position, but the Bretonnians have taken over this point here on the side. So we do see the Greenskins running away here as Skarsnik is going to be waddling through the bushes. And on this side, the Companions of Quenelles probably not going to have any issues cleaning things up. Anti-large, armor piercing, a pretty elite cavalry unit, often overshadowed by Grail Knights because Grail Knights got anti-large. These are like, think of them as like a more budget version of like Grail Knights. Like if you don't quite want to spend that much, I guess you can bring these guys in. And they're not bad, certainly not bad. But yeah, Grail Knights and Grail Guardians have been all the hotness these days. So Bretonnia might be getting a triple cap here. We do see the value favoring the Greenskins, but that's not really accurate. Skarsnik is running, and we've seen a metric ton of healing on the Bretonnians. Not only has the lore passive been healing the entire army, but we've also seen Fey Enchantress and Green Knight getting concentrated healing. And that is going to be a regrowth going down in those elite cavalry. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Greenskins tap out here soon. Really cool fight. Double Arachnarok Spider fighting in this like shallow stream. Holy Warden's in here, Fey Enchantress, Green Knight. It's a lot of neat stuff. So over here, Objective 3, still owned by the Greenskins somehow. Is there any... I mean, Serkia is an amazing player. He's extremely good. But I don't know if there's going to be any avenues for a comeback for him. He does call him Black Orcs. Black Orcs, I do think, are okay against Bretonnia. I still think they could use another 50 gold off them, and that would be a nice sweet spot for them. Like, Greatswords are kind of the metric by which I measure them. Greatswords are 875. Black Orcs, arguably, you know, have way more HP. They have higher armor. Their damage output is greater against a multitude of different targets, and they're immune to psychology, so I understand why they're more expensive, but perhaps they could be, you know, I don't know, like 1,000 gold or something, like Zargard. How much are they right now? I'd have to check. Maybe they are close to 1,000 gold. Anyways, down towards objective number 3, we do see the Holy Wardens grinding it out. Battle Pilgrims also doing glorious battle, and there are going to be more Knights of the Realm being called in. Some Ailmen going to be trying to chase down the Orc boys here. And the Orcs are holding on to this objective, but Scarsnake dropping his wah, but probably not going to do too much. Spider's coming back in, and Orc boys, you know, just out of respect for old Serki here, we're going to let this keep going because, you know, you never know if there could be some sort of a weird comeback. You never know. No more Lord Unsummoning. Get that nonsense out of here. Feels great. So Scarsnake actually has to survive and waddle to the edge of the battlefield. Here, the Green Knight is on the hunt. Looks like he's going to be turning his sights onto the Arachnarok Spider. Gilles has gotten how much value this game? 2,400. All right, that ain't bad at all. As the Knights of the Realm do swarm down here against the Orc Biggins, the Fey Enchantress is going to be draining these bad boys down. Objective 3 is being approached by the Orc boys, and Morgub's Magi Marauders are on the hunt. Here they come. Pretty good unit against Bretonnia, by the way. Morgub's Magi Marauders, absolute staple here. Fast, hard armor piercing, they can kite the Bretonnian Knights. And that was Gork'll fix it, so that will slow them down. And now the Chad Orcs are going to get in with their big beaten sticks. I was actually just painting some Black Orcs on tabletop. For the old Chaos Dwarf army, they're a really, really cool unit. But yeah, they will beat down these Bretonnian Knights, especially with Spider support. Spider dead. Oh, it looked like it was alive. That was so funny. I was tricked because I saw the health bar of the Green Knight. And I was like, oh, he's still alive, but he kind of looks dead the way he's standing there. But yeah, Black Orcs nibbling, doing great. Sneaky Stabbing's going to give him 60 melee attack. They do have the Morgub's Magi Marauder support as well, but probably going to be overwhelmed by the Grail Knights and Questing Knights. That's a tall order. Here, the Fey Enchantress providing her support and taking down the Goblin Shaman in the river. And the Companions now going to be piling in against those Black Orcs, who are probably accruing good value, honestly. Fighting really expensive cav, and they have a massive HP. Yeah, already 500 value. They haven't even been fighting that long. So I do think there's a place for them in a couple of matchups. I think against Bretonnia, they're not terrible. You just got to watch out for Chalice of Potions, and you know, sometimes against like Vampire Counts, I don't mind seeing a Black Orc or two. They can give you some grind in the front line depending on what your opponent's doing. And yeah, this is the proper way to hide your Lord. Just run him to the edge of the map and not be nice and cowardly there. That's how it should be. You know, you got to work for it. But that's it. GG, well played. Wish we had seen the Black Orcs earlier. I feel like they maybe could have helped win some of those fights, although they might have just got nailed by the Chalice. So that's it. Good game. Green versus green, and the Green Knight has emerged victorious here today. He accruing 2,800 value. Fey Enchantress at 17. Other big victors for this army. Holy Wardens didn't do bad. The Grail Knights do 1,800 value, of course. They're just so good. Like, Grail Knights are just, yeah, I think you just got to ignore the Companions and just bring the Grail Knights. Ever since they got AP, it was just, yeah, that's the way. Biggins didn't do badly. It was a really cool build. Double Spider, like, in theory, it's good. But not having any way to, the Green Knight really won that game. Like, there was no way to deal with him. And it almost makes me think that bringing the Big Wah and getting Fist of Gork to get magic damage would be good. Or bring a River Troll Hag with Spirit Leech. That, you know, that's probably the play, right? If you just Spirit Leech spam him and beat him with your Sack of Fish, like an Angry Lunch Lady, I think you're going to get it done. But yeah, GG to those champions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one, and we will see you on the other side.